see now how to ask in Italian at what time someone does something. The question is a che ora plus you add the action. So, for example, if you want to say at what time do you eat? So you say a che ora and then tu, because you is no like tu informal, and as you know the tu in Italian is not no like necessary, so you can use tu or you can write the same or say the same sentence without tu, a che ora tu or without, and then the verb, you know, like to eat is mangiare, so the form for to is what? You drop are, so you have mangi, and since it's a verb in iare, you don't need to add the second I, so it will be a che ora tu mangi, okay? So, at what time do you eat? A che ora tu mangi? Remember, in Italian, when you ask a question, it's easy. You don't use do, you don't invert the subject as you do in English. You just add a question mark at the end, and when you talk, you have to, the intonation of your voice makes everything clear, makes clear that you're asking a question. A che ora mangi? This is a question, okay? Now, at what time Marco study Italian? So it would be same, a che ora, always a che ora. Marco, now, study, how you say to study in Italian? To study is studiare, so you do the same thing. Studiare, you drop are, you have the root that is studi. Now, this is the root, then Marco is he, you check the form for he and she, and you see will be a, so a che ora Marco studia, etc., etc. So this is the way you ask the question. Now, let's see how you answer those kind of questions. You give time when you answer. So that I'm gonna give you all the possibility of the answer. So let's say like you wanna say a mezzogiorno or a mezzanotte, at midnight, at noon. So when you answer, you repeat the verb. Let's try to answer the first question. A che ora mangi? Now you say, I eat at noon. So, io, again, you know, like io, if you want, you don't use it. So, io, and then you say, mangio, because the form of mangiare with io is mangio, and then at noon. A mezzogiorno. A che ora mangi? Again, let's say you don't want to say a mezzogiorno, but you want to say like at midnight, it would be the same. A mezzanotte. So with mezzogiorno and mezzanotte, you must remember to use the form. Oh, sorry. Okay. You must use a. Okay? A mezzogiorno, a mezzanotte. Okay, so now let's use a different time. Let's use 1 o'clock. It doesn't matter if it's 1 a.m. or if it's 1 p.m. Remember, so let's just say 1 o'clock. A che ora mangi? A che ora studi? You want to say io, lui, lei, Marco, doesn't matter. It could be anyone. Let's say how to say at 1 o'clock. And you write a luna. So al, you see, with two L and an apostrophe. This is the way that you must answer every time you use una. And now the last possibility is to say at 2 o'clock, at 3, 3:30, 4:30, doesn't matter. All the other hours, it will always be alle plus the time, alle 3, alle 4, alle 5:20, alle 6:03, and so on, etc. Okay, so a che ora you do something or somebody else does something, it will be the answer will be always like this. First, no, you give the person, so it could be I, you, we, Marco, Anna. Then you give the action. It could be study, eat. So mangia, mangio, mangiano. It depends on the person. And then the time. When we talk about the time, you have three possibilities. It could be a plus the time when you use mezzogiorno and mezzanotte. It can be al, 2L and apostrophe only if you say one, so all'una, and it could be alle plus all the other hours. Okay, so it's not difficult. Now, let's see how to say that an action is done, from one time to another time. Okay, so how to ask, no, how to answer when you do something from, let's say, how to say, not to answer, I'm sorry, how to say that you're doing something from, let's say, 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. Okay, so you have two times in this case. The first one, the part that is the equivalent of from, you have, again, three options. You say da, and then mezzogiorno, da mezzanotte, okay, from midnight, from noon, and then you have dal apostrophe una to say from 1 o'clock, and then dalle and all the others hour, dalle 3, as I wrote before, 4, 6, 10, etc. So all the other time you express with dalle. So da mezzogiorno, da mezzanotte, dall'una, dalle 3, dalle 4, dalle 6, eccetera, eccetera, means from midnight, from noon, and remember, even when here, it could be like from mezzogiorno, da mezzogiorno e mezzo, from noon and a half, from mezzanotte 10. So it doesn't have to be exactly noon or midnight. It could be noon and midnight plus some minutes. You always use that if you have mezzogiorno as the first word or mezzanotte as the first word. And the same thing is with a. That we were talking about before. It can even be like from a mezzogiorno e un quarto, and so on. So if the first word is mezzogiorno or mezzanotte, and even if you have the minutes after, the thing doesn't change. You have to use a in this case, and you have to use da in this case. So from, okay, from. Now, how to say to, and in this case is extremely easy because you already know the form. The same form that you have learned to answer at what time At what time do you do something? I do at. Io mangio a mezzogiorno. You have learned this before. This, the same structure, you can use to, like say that you're doing something from to, when you have to express to. Okay, so let's say now I eat from 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock. So I eat, io mangio, so from 1 o'clock, this is from, okay, so mangio, so you see 1 o'clock is dal, so dal l'una, and now I said that for to you use the same form that you have already learned to answer the question at what time. So with the time 2 o'clock you must use alle, so you just write dall'una alle due. Okay. Marco studies from 4:30 to 7:45. So Marco studia from dalle 4:30, or you can even say 4:30, mezza, it's up to you to use mezzo or mezza. I said Marco studies from 4:30 to 7:45. So Marco studia dalle 4:30 or 4:30 or 4:30. Then to, I said you use the same form when you express at what time you do something. So it's exactly the same. I said to 7:30, 7:45 will be, so 7 is here, so you have to use alle, so alle, and then 7 is 7, 45 e 45. Now you know that 45 is also 3/4, so if you want you can say 7 e 3/4. Okay, I hope everything is clear.